Hey, good evening guys, it's Richie here, aka the Aquaman. Right, this video is another one of my live streams that I had last night with the infamous Adam PASZCZELA, King of the Stones. We talk about everything from geology, aquascaping, touch on Mr Amano, and many other things. We only talked for an hour. We scheduled, or we're about to schedule, I should say, another stream all about his learning from the late great Mr Takashi Amano himself. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. If you like it, if you can sit through the whole 59 minutes or an hour, I think it is, yeah, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, subscribe, it all helps. Leave a comment if you like these live streams. Apologies for the quality, it's not the best, but I'm guessing there's a lot of people online at this moment in time, so stay safe, people.
Hey, much better.
Yeah?
Yeah, much better. I don't know what happened.
Sorry.
I can see you low.
Yeah, I changed the connection with Wi-Fi router.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I'm on my Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Is the light behind me too bright?
What?
Is the light behind me too bright?
No, it's no. For me, it's no problem. It's light, but it's, you know.
That's okay. Blame Andy Tam. It's his fault.
Yeah. Yeah, you have shining of the, you know, of the angel, you know.
Hell's angel.
Eurythmics, you know, the Annie Lennox Eurythmics angel.
I know Annie Lennox. Yeah.
How was Easter time? You spending some Easter time or UK or not? No.
Yeah, with my family. Yeah, we're all on lockdown, so we can't go anywhere. Today was the first time in 30 days that I took the family in the car, local, and then we went for a walk in the fields, not far from my house, because my kids are going crazy being locked up in the house. So we took them for a run around in the fields, and they loved it. So. Yeah. I'll post up some pictures later. I did some like panoramas of like around where I was, because in the one side you could see the old coal mine, and then on the other side you could see the quarry. I don't know if you'd be able to make it out on my camera, but I tried. I'm not a very good photographer.
Yeah, but lockdown in your UK was also really strong. Like
it's not as bad as other places like Spain and Italy. We don't have to have a permit to leave our house, but we're only allowed to leave the house if we're going for food or for 1 hour exercise a day.
But for running too, for jogging, something like that, no.
The only jogging I do is to the fridge or up the stairs.
yeah. But but basement must be very deep. Few floors.
I don't have a basement. I've always wanted a house with a basement.
Yeah. Because my studio is like a 2nd floor, and this is like sometimes basement is 1 floor underground. So this is like a 3 floors. So I think. I change the place every day, maybe 50 times. So 2 floors. So it's completely different than you living on the one floor house. So if you must to change the level, my studio, this is 2 floors. So it's completely after full day of aquascaping, when you have to go to layout material to the basement, to the garden, and back again many times, you feel really, your foot is really strong. painful. So this is this is completely different than you living on the one floor, because I living another place in flat, and this I can't change the level only one, you know. So this is if you living in the house is completely different, and many floors house like a two floors is really a lot of to walking. If you want to make something at home, it is completely enough, like a jogging fitness for you.
Ah, right, yeah. Well, my house is two floors and a big garden. So I've got like kitchen, living room, dining room, big garden, and then 3 bedrooms upstairs, bathroom upstairs, bathroom upstairs. This is the only tank that I have in my house. This one here.
Okay. Yeah. What is the size?
A 90, 50-50.
But the UK is like a standard is TAL, yes? That's the
that's as close. That's probably close as you're gonna get, because I got to do maintenance tomorrow.
Yeah, it's nice. The Friday, Thursday, all the time, every week.
Yeah, it's just something that I started doing when I first set up the tank. I was doing like 2 big water changes every week. I wasn't going crazy like George and doing like 60% water changes every day for the first week, and then oh god, I can't do that. It does my head in. I'm a lazy aquascaper. I like it to be easy, so I try and use Felipe's methodology. So like I use root tabs now, and I'm fertilizing like 20 mils a week, rather than when I first started this tank. I'm running about 4 bubbles a second. I was putting like 90 mil of fertilizers in every week, and the light was on like, well, you know the max light. You use the max light, so you know what it's like, how powerful the light is. Well, that was running on 4. Yeah, I was on 4 out of 6, but I've got glass covers on this because my kids can't keep their hands out of my tank. Yeah. So I knew.
But this is still half power of RGB ADA, because at the beginning also I used the 4 level, but after I recognized that even 6 for 90, 90 45 was not so much. This is 75 watts. So
I think RGB isn't the max like 100 though.
Maybe new model, because I have a prototype from 3 years ago. So mine is 75. I'm sure.
Oh, it could be 75. I thought mine was 100. I'm not sure. I haven't checked. It would say.
You have a Wi-Fi, the newest one with Wi-Fi.
Not yet. I'm waiting for that. That one doesn't come out until June.
So you have probably the same version like me. So this is 75. I'm sure 75 watts. So
I'll show you.
You can see it on the electric ballast. So
yeah. I don't know.
There will be description on electric ballast.
On the ballast. I wanted to see if that's the same one you have.
Yeah, it will be probably. But design is, even the new one is Master. The name of Master.
Yeah.
But, so this is. I think this looks the same. So yeah, but this is special. You have a cover glass, yes? For tank.
Yeah, I have to stop my kids putting their hands in. They like to put their hand in my tank.
Yeah. Also for cat keeper.
Yeah,
it's problem.
Here we go. Yeah, I don't have a cat. I've just got a silly dog. I've got a silly dog. If you look behind me, just there. See behind me.
Yes. What is it?
That's all that's the weeping moss on the wood, purling. It looks like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. Yeah. A weeping is what is the English? The following down. This is
goes down. Yeah, it goes down.
down.
Yeah. I was tempted to use Physidens, but because it's such a slow grower, I needed something that was going to grow quick. But I don't know, because I'm a lazy aquascaper. I don't like to trim too much. The moss is it's crazy growing. I got to trim it like every week.
Yeah. It's just with mosses. It's something but it's I think this is not so many books, good wide book about aquascaping still. So I have many research, my personal experiences about trimming, and even for mosses. If I want to write some book in the future, I will need maybe one chapter only about mosses and trimming of mosses, because it's many techniques of trimming of mosses and depend on the types, the species of moss, and when you want to keeping on the wood of stone, and relation between layout material and mosses. This is also another chapter. There is a lot of stones, kind of stones the moss don't like it, and you can immediately recognize what is the ingredients is health or unhealth for plants.
Yeah, my guess would be any stone that has got lime in it. Which make pH go high, like just for argument's sake, limestone or ocean rock. I can't see moss liking that.
Yeah. This is really this is the UK is probably a lot of mostly calcium. I think this geologic is very simply to recognize UK, but I don't remember the name of the district of UK. Beautiful coasts with black stones.
Black stones. I mean, Wales is a lot like that, because you've got a lot of fossils in my neck of the woods. So you've got the geology. Some of the stone is like 400 million years old. It's some really old ancient coastline. So you can find quite a lot of like ammonites and things like that in the rocks when you just go to the beach. I've got a stone outside in my garden that's a solid grey rock, but I noticed it had a hole inside with some quartz crystal running around it. So I hit it with another big stone and it fell apart, and inside it was an ammonite, but it's crystallized in quartz. So I've kept it as a garden ornament. The piece is huge. It's probably 30 centimeters tall by probably 10 centimeters deep by about the same across. It's a big, heavy piece. And now when I've broken it, I shown a friend of mine, and she sent the pictures to a friend of hers who's like a geologist. He studies rocks and stuff. And he said, what's happened is the fossils formed first, then the crystals, the minerals, somehow got inside the rock through that hole and then formed around the fossil. I was like, whoa. She said, that should be in a museum. Where did you find that? And I was like, I'm not telling you.
It's really seldom, really unique. Yeah, probably some of the.
Oh yeah. If I could fit it into an aquarium, I would.
Inclusion, special kind of inclusion, like a mosquito inside the amber, amber stone.
Yeah, basically, yeah, similar.
Yeah.
I think. Well, so your Frodo stone then is that Polish? Does that come from Poland?
This is from Carpathia region. This is the few countries.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Carpathia is long. This is like Alps. This is the Alps of the east. So the west is Alps, you know, like much bigger, of course, the chain of the mountains, but on the east is Carpathia.
Okay.
And this is like 5-6 countries covering, and all including the Transylvania, Dracula mountain. So this is.
To go there.
Yeah, this is real. This is the real region and the real name of the mountains, the Transylvania. So this is the part of the Carpathia. Yeah, I had some idea for name Dracula, you know, but this is too much funny, maybe too much, you know, like yeah. But it's you know, many. Also, I have some piece of stone. I have not fossilized the piece of bones, but this is the stamp.
It's an impression.
Yeah. And this is this is maybe some hand of some dinosaurus, or maybe cool. Yeah. I will show you maybe another stream. I have not here, but on my storage. Storage will be very bad connection of internet because there is underground. So
that's awesome.
And this is maybe hand of the dinosaurs of small wing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe small wing of the flying some kind of dinosaur. So this is because cool. This is the same age of creation. The rocks is like 200 million years, like Jura, and I don't know English. The UK will be Creda. This is real geologic age. The Jura. You know Jura? Jura is okay or not? Jurassic.
You've got Jurassic. You've got Cretaceous.
Yeah. This is like a carbon. Like I don't know. This Creda is maybe this is Polish name, but this is like a before Jurassic and after Jurassic. It's like a three. Okay. Was created the carbon also, the coal underground.
Wales is famous for coal.
Yeah, you know what is from where is created the coal, the black gold. Yeah,
where it's created.
From where? From which ingredients?
Oh, I don't know. I know carbon is a big ingredient, but other than carbon, I'm not sure what it's made from.
Yeah, so our black, because the UK also was the black gold. It was really industrial, was really strong. Coals the coal.
Well, Welsh coal was classed as the best coal in the world because it was denser, it was more compact, and it was harder. It burned hotter for longer. So the steam trains and the old steamboats. They used to love our coal because they would get more miles per gallon, like in your car, because it would burn hotter for longer, so they would get more out of it. So Welsh coal was highly prized around the world until all the mines shut down. I think there's only one mine now near me. It's about 20 miles away, but it's privately owned, and they think there's only a few years left of coal drifts in the ground before they got to close the mine down.
So I'm also living in the region. The famous region is only 3 places in the Europe. This is the UK, this is the Germany, some region, and Poland. Exactly my location.
Okay, so you're mine.
Yeah, this is coal mine. 75 coal mine factories in the past. Okay.
Yeah.
So this was the bigger in Europe, in Germany, Poland, and UK. So, but the carbon, the coal, was created by the huge plants. Huge plant like a ferns.
Yeah.
The primeval ferns was like 100 meters high.
Yeah.
And sometimes Araucaria was primeval trees.
I know.
Some pieces of tree was 200 meters, 300 meters high, and collapse it, and coal is created by parts of the plants was die and go, you know, was pressured by but by soil, you know, by stone, by grass, and this way.
Yeah.
So it was created. Yeah, the history of the geologic history of the Earth planet is very long.
Yeah, yeah, I should say so.
But coal was created very short time, like only 100, 200 million years time. So this is nothing for age of the planet,
No.
and can be it could be created only caused by very rich nature, primeval nature. A lot of plants, a lot of animals, a lot of, you know, millions of the tons of the material, organic material, and this is the coal. So
yes.
So we can use it like you know, but now it's not ecologic. So like,
well, years ago, like when I first got into aquariums, before I even knew what an aquascape was, my grandfather in the 80s had a fish tank set into the wall, which was surrounded with a cabinet, and he had 2 big black pieces of coal in his fish tank. But after speaking to a few people who know coal, they said he was lucky because coal contains a lot of sulfur. So he's lucky that the coal that he had didn't release any sulfur into the tank and kill his fish.
Yeah, this is depends. This is really complicated chemical structure of the. Sometimes even the coal can be keeping the fire itself. So the coal mine factory they main keeping the heel of the coal, but it can be start the fire inside. So I know this also the water, some reaction with the water also. The coal and water can create something like some chemical reaction. So maybe not so. So the carbon we know, you know, like a held carbon.
Yeah.
This is completely different chains. This is maybe 100 different types of the carbon. Generally.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, for sure. So we've talked music, we've talked coal, and we've talked dinosaurs. Let's get on to aquascaping.
let's talk about us. Let's talk about, you know, dinosaurs. Another version. yeah, aquascaping, you know, just but we have talk about mosses. So and we stop it. I don't know why.
We were talking about moss.
Weeping moss
goes
down, and you said is really the growing not fast.
No, Physidans, I said, doesn't grow fast. My weeping moss grows crazy. I don't know whether it's because of the CO2 and because it's quite close to the light. But around about this time of night, 9 o'clock, because my CO2 comes on about 12, my lights come on at 2, and so by about 9:30 in the night, my wood looks like a Christmas tree with all the little baubles on it from the moss. So that weeping moss, I trimmed it right back to the wood, and I thought, oh my God, I cut it too far back. You know, it's not going to grow back. But literally, like within 2 weeks, it's back to where it was before, and I've got to trim it. I've got to trim it again.
Do you know the? Let me change the camera. Do you know Cameroon moss?
No, I don't know. Not sure I've seen that one before.
I will show you some separate piece of this moss, but it's very beautiful, very big one.
It's long, isn't it? It looks like a fern.
Yeah, but it's underwater. But one problem this moss is that you cannot keep it. You must to tie.
Yeah.
And because never will be touch. This is Cameroon moss. I know name like a Cameroon moss, but I'm not sure
what the Latin is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So does that grow?
Much bigger. I will show you the ratio. Ordinary moss. It looks like no, not here. Sorry.
So does that grow laterally then?
This is ordinary moss, and compare versus Cameroon moss. So you can recognize the scale.
Yeah, yeah. So the Cameroon moss, does that grow laterally? So does it grow like flat? Or
yes,
does it grow
sometimes it's growing. You know, I have some. Let me show you in some aquarium, maybe. Let me find.
I've always wanted to go to your studio, and I'm having a tour.
now it's night, so this is not so good moment to find it. But let me show you in aquarium somewhere.
I've got loads of questions because you've worked with Amano, haven't you?
What?
I said I've got a lot of questions because you've worked with Amano.
Yeah. So let me just a second. Yes, maybe it's here.
Oh, that's the Cameroon moss, is it?
Ordinary is on the bottom.
Yeah,
but some pieces is yes. This is like a.
Now, do you use cotton thread for your moss, or do you use glue, or both?
I am not really satisfied for glue. So because I 2 years ago I never used the glue, but after some event with some workshops, I start to use it also. But for me, it's still not perfect product in the market. On the market is because, in my opinion, the glue should be after gluing should be the not visible or
white.
Yeah, or green color, something like that, but not white. But even special for some producer, they create the moss glue. You know the name of company.
I know Seachem do one, don't they?
Seachem, another one. So they all looks the same. After, if you feel too much, if you dosing too much glue, or you gluing some part of the wood, after you see the white, and this problem you must do.
Yeah, I had that problem, but the way I overcome that is if you use gel type and you just dot it in small dots along the wood, but then you have hard to say, if you kind of spread like the moss onto it, it'll set white underneath, but you won't see it because the moss is on the top. So that's the way I overcome that, because again, like I said to you, I'm a lazy aquascaper. I can't be tying the moss because I like to put. I mean, I'm nowhere near your level. I'm going to try and enter this tank behind me into some contest this year, but I've not entered before.
But I can tell you that if you use the really good cotton, and now is really good product, I can really suggest you to buy the DOA series ADA. Yeah, it's
called
Terraline.
Terraline.
This is looks the same like a moss cotton, but moss cotton is recycled.
Yeah.
Terraline is forever, like never.
Like fishing line.
Oh, so it's really strong, and you cannot. Moss cotton, if you use moss cotton, problem is after 1 month time he remove.
It rots away.
Yeah, because the cotton is like a breakable. What is it in English?
Yeah. I know what you mean. It disintegrates in water.
Yeah. So and it's like a recycling, you know, the natural.
It's made from cotton, which is a plant.
Yeah, and if you use the moss, he don't like keep the wood or stone. There is so many types, or like this one. So you have to. This is problem for you because you lost your composition, you know, your layout. So, but second reason, the moss cotton was weak. You cannot use the power of tie.
I looked at trying. Have you seen, you know, fishing, fly fishing?
Oh,
have you seen it when the guys tie a fly?
Yeah, but the fishing is one small problem to use it. You can find beautiful colors, you know, like gold, and compared to your wood color. But the line is really for mosses. The first is really like a cutter, no, like cutter, the scissor. Sharp. Too much sharp, yes. And second reason, after it's depend on the light. It's depend on your light. But in my opinion, mostly you can see under the LED.
It shines, doesn't it?
Yeah, and if you recognize you are, you know, good observer, and you want to make the perfect picture, and aquarium is small, not big aquarium like 2 meters, you lost this detail. You lost this detail. But in small aquarium like a 60, even 90, you can find on the picture these points.
Yeah.
So because
let me see if I can show you my wood before the light goes off. The moss, it needs a trim, so don't judge me.
Oh, beautiful. This is whipping?
Yeah, this is weeping, yeah. I need a trim, but look at it over in this corner.
Yeah, but growing healthy.
Oh yeah, really healthy. And my Monte Carlo's not very healthy at the moment.
But also very deep color. So which kind of fertilizer are you using?
I'm using a complete. I use TNC complete. That's all.
Really, this is really the dark green color of the moss,
yeah.
Because I see another plant is light green. But
I've got a few. I've got tripartita, hydrocotyle tripartita in there. I've got Helianthum tenellum in there. I've got Eliocharis mini. What else have I got in there? Monte Carlo, that's not doing very well, but that was my fault because I was over fertilizing, so I've cut that back now. And some of the Monte, there's some Monte behind me here that is starting to come back.
Yeah, Monte Carlo needs really a lot of nitrogen. So I recognize also this type. So if you want to keep Cebianthus, ordinary cube or Monte Carlo, you cannot be afraid about dosing the nitrogen and phosphorate. So this is really.
I can show you my fertilizer. Actually, I'll show you it now. It's by the side of my tank. Hang on. Oh, here it is. I got it. Hang on. This is what I use.
Yeah, exactly. I know this. This is one of the first complete fertilizer in the market, on the market. In Europe, probably the first European. So
yeah, Nigel, he's a nice guy actually. Yeah, I'm lucky enough to be sponsored by him as well, so it's great.
Yeah.
I got the Prodibio stuff in the cupboard down there. The Prodibio.
You're ambassador.
Prodibio. Yeah, I am. Yeah, yeah. I've got the. I did try the Prodibio stuff for the first couple of months of this setting this tank up. It's Prodibio soil in here, and I use BioClean and I use Chloral Reset on this tank. Every time I do a water change, but I've got TNC root tabs in the bottom, and that's it really as far as ferts go. But I did try the Prodibio. What was it? They got, I forget what it's called. One's called Ultimate, which is the nitrogen, which is the macro, and then you've got Prodibio. What's the other one called? BioVert Plus, which is the micro, so that's your iron and the other nutrients. But I couldn't get a balance using the two separate dosing. It was annoying me. I was scratching my head. I was like, what do I do here? So in the end, I went back to TNC. I just went back to using TNC. Just because it's easier. It's one dose. Someone just asked me now, Sam and Sam, in the comments, how much do I dose? How much TNC weekly for my tank? Well, it's a 90-50-50, and I've just started dosing 20 mil a week. But that's because I've got about 20 root tabs in my soil, so it's a very nutrient-rich substrate. So that's why. I'm lean dosing because I've been dosing heavy for so long. My plants were showing signs of suffering a little bit because I was trying to grow the plants in ready for contests this year. But now I've kind of gone back a bit and I'm lean dosing now. I'm only dosing 20 mils just to, when everything seems to be fine. You can see everything purring, everything's going crazy in there now. Just got to try and bring my mom.
Once per week? Like
once a week. Yeah.
Once per week.
Yeah. I'm following.
It is, but you have, because maybe because this is like with permanent change water.
I do.
This is like if you change the water one time once per week.
I do 50%. Yeah, I do more than that.
and you change every day 5%. Is much better for aquarium if you change 5% every day than 50% every week. So this is mathematical. This is not mathematics. This is not math. Because math is tell you it is the same. Yes, the sum is the same, but this is not the same for biology and for aquarium. So the same is fertilizers. So if you can find a little bit time for fertilizing every day by 2 milliliters or 3, 20, cut 7.
Yeah. So divide 20. Divide 20.
This is like a consumption of the. If you make the example, I think this is good example. If you make example that you put feeding some animals, and you put the food for all week
in one go.
You know what I mean?
They'll use it all in one go. Yeah.
Yeah, they can't eat everything 100%, but they eat much more than usually, and probably the next 2 days time they will be hungry again. So this is like so this is the same with plants. So algae, because we have something like predators in aquarium. Predators are algae and bad unhealthy bacteria. So algae is like they only waiting. They are still in aquarium. In all aquarium, you can find all cells, small cells of algae, all types. But you can see you only waiting for your weakness. So if plants eat too much and they are full for next few days, they blocking the cells, and this way the algae can start growing faster.
I'm lucky with this tank because I only started noticing a little bit of algae after about 4 months, and that's because I was dosing like 90 mils a week. I was putting like between 50 and 20 mil every day. And then I was doing like a 75% water change then in a week on a Thursday. And then I'd start fertilizing again on a Friday. And like I say, my plants grew crazy for the first few months, and I didn't see a spot. I didn't have a spot of algae. But then obviously over time, the plants just cannot keep up growing that quickly. They can't keep up. It's like us, isn't it? If you run a race, you can run a race for so long, and then you at the end of it. So then you have to have a rest. So that's why I've started lean dosing now, because they've been fed for so long. So what I'll probably do now, once my tank is on an even keel and it's leveled out, and my plants have all started getting back to normal, because I got to do there's a trim on this tank now tomorrow night when I finish that I'm going to do, because this is the second week of lean dosing my tank to get it back to normal, get it on a level. Because I started getting some BBA, I started getting a bit of green filamentous algae, and I started getting a little bit of green spot algae on the tank. So I thought, oh, it's time I better cut down on the feeding, and so that's why I've done that. So once I'm back on a level, I'll start dosing small amounts daily as opposed to the 20 mils once a week. So that's why I've done that, because I want to stop the algae. And luckily now I've got one small patch of BBA, but all my cyano is gone, the green hair is gone, and I've got only a tiny amount of green spot left on the glass, and that's it. It's done. So I'm happy with that. I managed to bring it back, but I've not done a blackout on my tank like a lot of people suggest, which I would have suggested a long time ago. I've kept the lights the same, the CO2 the same. Oh, my light's just gone off behind me. The light's the same, the CO2 the same. I better turn my light on. You won't see me. Oh. But I've just fertilized less.
Richie, let me say hello to guys, because some guys, they say hello to us. You are the boss of the stream. So can I say hello to guys for the Green Rock Shop? Maybe you see more conversation, and hello guys for everyone, thank you. So
yeah, you've got another question there from Solomon. He said your recommendation is to change water 5% daily and 50% weekly.
Yeah, I think this is really you can feel the difference if you start doing. But it's, of course, it's if you have a time for doing this one, it's much better. So many people making also big mistake during the water change. Calculate, because we have some instincts, like natural instincts. And sometimes we want to measuring everything, some algorithm, like a math. And this way, people very simple things like a water change. Somebody say, please change the 50% of water, and okay, the many guys measuring of the height of the tank and make the centimeters. Okay, this is the half for about, of course, I see the half of the tank, and I should to remove this level of the volume of the water, but this is not 50%. If you have an aquascaping layout like we doing, if you have a substrates layout material, this is 50% of the high aquarium. This is like a 70%, even more water change.
It's displacement.
And if you're doing 70% water change on time per week, in one moment, you can lose really easy to balance.
Yeah,
and aquarium will be back maybe 2-3 days to the balance. You know, you never reach the higher level of your aquarium because you every week will be kill a little bit again your aquarium, because you next week water change 70% is really too much. So we should to calculate maximum 20, maximum 30% of the high aquarium.
I know what you mean. So, in the UK we call that displacement. So you got to calculate, like, obviously my tank empty is 240 liters, but by the time I've probably got the best part of 20 liters of soil in there. I've got I don't know, 60 kilos of rock in there. I've got wood in there. I've got plants in there. So obviously people don't take that into account when they do their water changes. So they just think, oh, it's 240 liters of water, let's take out 120 liters. And it's like, no, that doesn't work, because you've got all the other stuff in your tank. So you've got to be mindful of that. Same with calculating for medications or for fertilizers and for water conditioners as well. People just go, oh, 240 liter aquarium, let's put, oh, what's the calculation? Oh, it's 50 mils, so we just put 50 mils in, but it's probably more like 25. Yeah. So this is also like a measuring of the. For example, if you have an aquarium, in your aquarium is 100 kilograms of stone. This is like Archimedes, the theory that this is like 50 liters of the water. Yeah. So 100 kilograms. So it means like you have 50 liters of water less in aquarium. Yeah, that's right. It's like when
so the soil, stone, the thickness of glass is really important too. This is sometimes is 100 liters in big aquarium, like a 600 liters. If you use the 50 millimeters of the thickness of the glass. Yeah, this is like 70-80 liters of the capacity. You lose it. You lost.
Yeah, for sure.
And this way, for example, my aquarium has 600 liters of the 150, 65, 60.
Sure.
But netto is only, I think this is less than 400. So 400 liters, 600. So you calculate everything, even fertilizers, liquid fertilizer for water netto, water change, everything. So this is sometimes it's even ADA, its first impression is liquid fertilizer are expensive, more expensive. But if you calculate for the netto water, and this is much cheaper. And also people make mistake for the calculation, like water change by height of aquarium. The same mistake they calculate the fertilizers, how much they need to use dosing every day. And because they calculate the brutto, I have a 600, so I need to fill the 30 drop. So, but this is not true. So this is
You've overdosed. You've overdosed your tank. Yeah. So that's a good tip for beginners, for people who are just getting into the hobby, or even for people who have been doing it that way for a long time. It's like, Yeah.
Yeah, this is very simple, but nobody describe it. You know, no any book, any guides. You know, talking about it. You know, only I think there's still big space for. But of course, maybe some smaller wider. You know, some booklet of information, because when you take the big book and there will be thousands of information. Also, you know, beginner can falling down into deep water and cannot recognize the tips for him.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
This is like dedication tips for beginners, dedication tips for the you know, the
intermediate.
Yeah, and high top professionals like Richie. Like Richie, you know, it's you know, it's true.
When you say pro, that's because I get paid to do it for my customers, but not really. Nobody uses red lava stone in an aquascape except for me.
Yeah. The greetings to the Canada. You know, still cold, maybe cold, but.
Yes, hello you guys in Canada.
The North Canada is still winter, maybe.
Yeah. Tell me about working with Amano then. I don't know how long you got left. So. Yeah. Because did you? Because you call him Amano-san, so
I have some idea for you, but it's because you touched this topic when I go to aquarium, So I have some proposal for you. Because it's really nice to meet you, talk with you. So maybe we can organize separate live stream about Amano person.
Okay.
So
yeah, okay. Cool.
I can prepare some in my mind, you know, some story, some funny story, maybe some, you know, my private experiences with Mr. Amano, something really. Personal, so because maybe it will be interesting for you guys. So and you also you can prepare some question, and we can share together some experiences, like, you know, the.
I mean, this live
because I think we will need a lot of time, you know, for it. So like when we start talking about Mr. Amano, so it will be like I don't know, the hour is. Not enough. So what,
no, 2-3 hours.
Only, you know, I can talk. I can talking with you only about Lisbon projects, maybe 1 hour. So this is, but Lisbon project is maybe 5% my history with Mr. Amano.
Yeah, because I think you trained. Did you train under Amano? I think you did, didn't you?
I was trained too. Also, I was because
he was your teacher, wasn't he?
I was big lucky to participate in all seminar. Was organized by ADA in Niigata. Was only 4 seminars in history, and I participated in all. So only me and Adip from India and LC Chan from Malaysia. This is distributor of ADE product. So only 3 persons participated in all seminars. So Lisbon also we can treat it like a seminar.
Yeah.
And it was huge seminar, and I had the lucky to participate in this. So Adip and LC they couldn't. Participate.
I know Felipe was there, wasn't he, in Portugal?
Yeah, many. I can tell you about all guys. So also we can talk another, you know, special stream about only Lisbon too. So cool. There was the 20 aquascapers from Europe.
I know Yuri's was there, wasn't he? Felipe.
Yeah, from Portugal was Jorge Carvalho, was Luis Alves, shop owner, Aqua Eden, famous shop from close to Lisbon. So 5 or 6 aquascapers from Portugal, from France, from Germany, from Poland, 2 persons, and some another guy. So totally 20 person aquascaper and 20 staff of ADA from Japan and 20 person of staff of Oceanarium of Lisbon. So totally 65%.
It's a massive amount of people.
Yeah, massive people, and you know, this was
huge project.
Huge project. So this was, yeah, even the moment when we feel the substrate to the aquarium, those Power Sand and Amazonia. So you can imagine was like 11. Close to 11 tons of Amazonia, 1,200 pieces, 9 liter, and Power Sand 18 liters, the bigger the bag, 18 liters capacity, was 250 pieces. So this is even you can imagine, you know, 1,200 bucks. You must open, you must bring, open and fill for some special place, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And this was,
well, that's a live stream all of its own, right there, isn't it?
Yeah, there wasn't live stream. Yes, it was.
No, I mean for you and me.
Yeah. This is another. We can organize separate. You know, the really is long because it was 7 days. 7 days of different story. You know, some parts we doing every day something different. So it was really magic. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was really happy to participate because nobody knew that after a few months' time, Mr. Amano will pass away. So this
sad times.
Like January, February was finished, very beginning of February, and the May was opening, official opening this exhibition. And Mr. Amano, after he was there on opening, there was the television, you know, the ambassador of Japan, consul, you know, very important people, prime ministry, because the Oceanarium owner was the country, Portugal. Now is private owner, but when we created, owner was Portugal. So it was many important VIP person there. Mr. Amano was a really special one, and he was really doctor. You know, he left the hospital to go there. It was felt very bad, very bad condition, but doctor probably he created something like mental power of brain that he could go. Hello, Pavel. He could go to Portugal, and doctor said he checked the parameters of the blood of Mr. Amano, everything. He said, "Okay, you can go, but you must take a lot of drugs, you know, a lot of medicines." And some support the wife, a few person, and he go to the Portugal for the opening celebration. And when he back to the Japan, he go directly to the hospital and never leave hospital.
Yeah.
So he was like a 2 month to the end to the 4 August when he was there. So this was like never leave. Was all the time in hospital after Lisbon. So you can imagine how strong is mental side of the and you can start again, make something important for you. Of course, your time is finished, and your clock, tell you have it only this time, but you can wake up again.
Yeah, well, funny you should say that, because it's just telling me now we've got about 10 seconds to wrap this up.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
10 seconds?
Yeah, 5. We're about to end, so I'll say bye.